My name is Juan Martinez, and this is Talks on the Rocks. Today's guest is my baby Gilbert.
I'm not doing it because he's going to put it on the video.
First time I met Gilbert, I walked into El Carmen. I remember asking him for a cocktail. You could tell that he loved doing what he was doing. We share that in common. We love what we do. And we just hit it off, and that's basically the first time I ever met Gilbert. That's the first time I knew I was going to marry him. I'm going to just get into it, cool? First, epazote for his love of using traditional ingredients in his cocktails. Next, we're going to add a little bit of fresas because he's low-key the ultimate pretty boy. We add a little bit of tequila for his love of agave. We're also going to be adding a little mezcal for the Oaxacan in him, if he wishes. A little maraschino to add complexion to the cocktail. And a little bit of tonic water because he loves that shit for some reason. And today's cocktail is El Indio Fresa because that's basically what he is.
That was tres. I like it. I feel it relates to me because it uses a very indigenous herb, but it has a little bit of a modern twist to it. I feel that I have a deep connection to indigenous culture, but I really don't put that out as far as first impressions. My name is Gilbert Marquez, and I'm a brand ambassador for Ilegal Mezcal, and I consider myself an ambassador of Mezcal in general. I started bartending when I turned about 21 or 22. I wanted to go to culinary school, but I didn't have enough money. I didn't understand that you could start off from the bottom and then be here, you know? I didn't understand that concept. I thought kind of you had to go to school, and then once you graduate school, then you become that. So I was like, well, I don't have enough money to go to Le Cordon Bleu or the Institute of Arts or anything like that. So I'm gonna go to bartending school. I was like, cool, I'll pay $300. I'll go and I'll learn how to make cocktails, and then I'll work at a club and I'll make $500 a night. But I didn't realize that graduating bartending school was one of the main things that people do not want to hear when you get interviewed for bartending positions. I couldn't find a job. I was looking at every bar and dropping off my resume, and I was like, I just graduated bartending school, I'm really good, I graduated with 100% and all this stuff. And as I was dropping off resumes, the person who taught me how to bartend calls me. It was Jason Schiffer from 320 Main in Seal Beach. That was my first job. I hit him up and I was like, yeah, let's schedule an appointment or schedule a interview, and I'll go out and I'll interview with you. And he's like, cool. So we set it up. I show up. I was so broke. I borrowed my mom's car. I barely had any gas. I just had enough gas to get to Seal Beach, and I didn't have enough gas to get back home. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna get to the interview, I'm gonna get the job, and then whatever else happens, happens. So I got to the interview, and he asked me, what's your favorite cocktail? And I'm like, Long Island iced tea. That's because I didn't know any cocktails. I didn't know any cocktails. I didn't even drink. When I first started bartending, I didn't drink. So he's like, okay, you have no experience. But I like that. I want to hire someone that doesn't know anything about cocktails. And I was like, fool, I graduated bartending school. Like, I'm pretty good. So he puts me behind the bar, and he's like, all right, go ahead and pour this beer. The first beer I poured was Mama's Little Yellow Pills. I remember that. I'm like, okay. I pour it, foam, all the way to the top, and I'm like, The taps that we had at our other bar was a different system. So, and he kind of just looked at me. He was like, I know you're full of shit. So he taught me how to make a Sazerac that day. He taught me how to make a daiquiri. He taught me how to make an old fashioned. I was hired as a barback for about 2 weeks and made me a bartender. And then I started getting shifts, and then I started getting Friday shifts. Unfortunately, I was really, really passionate about what I did, and I concentrated really hard on what I did. Too much for my own good that I actually started to forget about all the other essentials. Bar awareness, just knowing how to prepare a ticket, It's all basic stuff once you've been doing it for a long time. But it's something that if you don't know, then you just don't know. But now I know. If you like what you just seen, click on this link. And if nah, then don't. Siempre la misma. Uh-oh. El viejo joven, el joven viejo, que baila y goza, pero no es. Well, how's the rest of it go? No sé. I got into mezcal at 320 Main. They had a cocktail on the cocktail menu called a smoky margarita, which was half metal mezcal and half, I forget what other, I think it was metal tequila. And I tasted that and I was like, fuck, I'm in love with mezcal. I love this. And before that, I was a gin and scotch guy. More gin than anything. But in that time when I was learning about mezcal, I was also learning about my own culture. I started doing Aztec dance and started getting really into Chicano movement and indigenous culture. And then I seen Maya Well, the Aztec goddess of agave, and then I started tasting the products that came from Maya Well. And I was like, shit, I mean, this is me. When I was boxing, I was welding, I was working in mortgage, I was singing in a punk rock band, bartending. One of my trainers told me, Gilbert, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. And that always stuck with me. So I don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. So fuck that. I'm going to focus on mezcal and that's it, and that's it. And that's what I've been doing ever since.